Ni hao, bird! Good morning! I love waking up and pulling back the curtains and finding a bird in bird spot just sound asleep right there past the trees. And I think I spy with my little eye up there in the corner. I think that's Boss. Nah, it might just be some tubings and stuff like that, but I think Boss may be up there too. But the kitty cats are here, so good morning guys, ni hao. Just doing dishes really quickly by hand with my little dish towel as always. I am really gonna be happy to see my dishwasher and actually my dryer when we go back home. It is actually illegal to have a dryer, which I didn't know about when we came here, and I thought just this was an old apartment so it didn't have a dryer. But it turns out to help conserve energy in places like China or here in Taiwan, or I think in Japan as well, it's illegal to have a dryer in most places. So you can't, because having that many people in an area with limited resources using dryers apparently would cause a lot of problems, which really made me think about how much energy does my dryer use back at home. So maybe in the future when I have my own home and a bunch of chickens and happy guinea pigs frolicking about my feet, I'll try to like hang my laundry up instead of using a dryer. But I had never really thought about its energy usage for real until we came here and we didn't even have one. So there's a whole bunch of little chores that we have to do, like washing our dishes by hand and also hanging our clothes up to dry, that actually take up kind of the start to my mornings. Though something else really exciting happened this morning that I'll tell you guys as soon as I finish my little chores for the day. So the good news, I have a helper now. I'm so happy. I've had a lot of helpers in the past, actually, people who are friends, people who really care about our channels and what we do. But if you guys haven't noticed by now, and I'm pretty sure all of you guys here at the vlog channel, especially those of you who put up with my rambles, have noticed, I have really been struggling with getting things done over the last few months. It almost feels like a whole year of just trying to play non-stop catch up with myself, and it hasn't been working. And part of that is because I try to juggle so many different projects at once, and another part of that is that YouTube is something so flexible. You really have to stay on your feet and be able to like toss out extra bonus episodes of things that are unexpectedly popular, and I just get overwhelmed trying to keep up with all of it while also setting up a website, replying to comments, making sure to remember I have an Instagram, all of those things. For those of you who step in and you're like, Seri, you should just do less. This job really doesn't let you do less. You kind of have to keep your fingers in so many different pies, and you also have to make sure that you keep the creative fire strong, you keep building a community. It's overwhelming is the bottom line. And it's not overwhelming in a bad way either. How do I explain this? I'm not sad that there's so many things to do. That's the glory of doing this, the variety. I mean, come on. Being able to run an Instagram account just to show fun pictures of your day, being able to juggle so many different types of series on our main channel, having so many abundant opportunities of what we could vlog about here on the vlog channel, that's really amazing. I love that variety. But with that variety comes a lot of responsibility of keeping multiple balls in the air at once. So I've been overwhelmed the last few months trying to keep up with all of it. And actually, Ashley Bunny, if you're watching this, my dear, you actually gave me a little bit of a kick on being able to delegate. Ashley is another YouTuber. She runs some really cool cooking series that I love. I'm actually addicted to those kinds of little cooking games. I'm currently actually playing in my downtime when I need a break, Emily's New Beginnings right now. I love the Emily's Delicious series, but that's an aside. Putting that aside and focusing, if you can't tell, I also have a hard time focusing sometimes. I have been very overwhelmed, and a lot of people have been suggesting, can you delegate anything like the editing of your videos or thumbnails? And I kept thinking, those are things I really need to keep my hands on. It would take longer to send someone the files and have them do it than it would to just do it myself, because I've got that down to a very quick science. But there's a ton of other stuff, making sure to manage my fan mail accounts, being sure that I'm checking in and keeping up on various projects I have to do. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that needs done and sorted and taken care of. We get hundreds of emails that I have to sort through every month, not just from fans, but like the business account alone. there's a lot of little things, the minutia of small obligations and details that have overwhelmed me and swamped me. And what happens when you have to keep all of that stuck inside of your head and try to remember all of it is that you're gonna forget stuff, and then you're gonna stumble over your own feet when you forget the wrong thing at the wrong time, and everything doesn't get done. And so that's why I haven't been able to focus. I don't remember half the time anymore what I'm supposed to be doing because there's too much to do. So I'm taking steps to fix that. And Ashley's suggestion was to find someone I could delegate to. So I have help now. It took probably a miracle to finally shift me enough to make me go, maybe I can bring in that help. We've had our amazing mods. My friend Ben has been helping me for a long time on modding the main channel, and then we have some new amazing mods that I won't name in case you guys don't want to be named, who help to monitor comments and things like that. But I needed somebody kind of in the thick of it with me, next to me, who could help refocus me and who could help look over all of the things, all of the projects I want to do, our summer in space, our vlog channel cooking stuff, making sure our Patreon has a video that I still need to make announcing that it exists for the main channel, and just kind of helping me jump up over that hurdle that makes me sort of hold back from starting a project because I get to be too much of a perfectionist and I'm too nervous to do it. I needed somebody in the thick of it with me like that. Chips doesn't deserve to have all that on his head when he's also doing all of his work, but he has been that role in so many ways. But he doesn't really have like a grasp of the details of what I do. And now I have someone who is helping me out. And I wanted to let you guys know that because it feels like a big gigantic transformation. Actually, Desiree, if you're watching as well, has talked a lot on Twitter about how awesome it felt when she and her husband brought somebody onto their team for their business that they run. She runs a really amazing blog, and it's a really fun, beautiful Instagram too. I'm always very envious when I see those pictures. And she was talking on Twitter about how great it felt to bring on a new team member. So I have a new team member. And she's thankfully a team member who can yell at me in a good way to get back to work and focus. And she also cares very deeply about what I do because she is my sister, my younger sister B, and she's helping me. And not in a silly way, because thankfully we're both old enough now and we've experienced enough with watching our families run the businesses that they did. All of our family, now that I look back, like the majority of my life, most of my family has been self-employed as creatives. My mom and my grandma ran their own business. My grandpa supported my grandma's business. When I look back through it, my other grandma was a hula dancer. So really, when I pull back and look at it, like everybody but my dad, who's an engineer and would make his own things and have his own, he'd be like the dad in Beauty and the Beast, basically, if he could be. Make all of his own inventions and just focus on that. Yeah, everybody in my family kind of is a creative and they've run their own businesses, and now I have my sister helping me out. And I have rambled and ranted and pulled my hair out and been in tears over trying to figure out how to manage both of our channels and how to manage my life and how to provide to you guys the joy that I truly want to and the adventures I want to, and try to figure out why am I keep getting stuck in the mud? Why am I not finishing things? Why am I so confused and overwhelmed? And it has been to the point, I think that breakdown in May was kind of related to not scheduling things properly so that I gave myself enough time to work on projects, and having so many projects that when I sat down at my desk and went, okay, time to work, I didn't know where to begin. So there's a lot of organizational flaws that I think cascaded into what happened to me in May. And having my sister on my team now is going to mean that I can start handling a lot of those things behind the scenes. I don't have to think about them any longer than it takes to think about it, and either delegate it or have her remind me to do it. And it's not going to just sit there and add up to this big pile of stuff in my head that I need to do. So anyway, that happened. And I just wanted to let you guys know because it feels really good. And I know everyone kept telling me to find help, and I just thought, this is my thing. I don't really want to rely on someone, but I brought my sister on, and she's kind of like our little part-time pixel biology employee now, and it's been amazing already. And so I'm really hoping I'll be able to catch up on so many of the things I'm behind on because I have the assistance, and she's really competent at what she does. I keep teasing her that hopefully by the time a few months has passed, I'll have trained her up so that she could be a a YouTube channel assistant to anybody, which would be really cool. I think that's actually probably a genre of its own job. So I mean, like, seriously, if you think you could probably handle the behind the scenes of monitoring trends and being able to make sure that end screens are updated properly and monetization is set properly and that comments don't get out of hand, there's probably going to be a job for that. No joke. That probably is something that a lot of YouTubers would be happy to have, and that's something that a lot of networks claim that they would help you do, but then they take this gigantic cut instead of like just working with you. So just FYI, if you're interested in that, it might be good. And you might learn a lot of things if you try doing that and you're interested in becoming a YouTuber or working in the YouTube realm. So there's probably already tons of people who do that too. I just never heard anybody advertise it. So that being said, I just wanted to let you guys know things are really settling down. I've been meditating nonstop. I have a lot of peace in my heart after reading the Kaizen book and the creative motivation book for how to understand my motivation from a bigger picture point of view with the creative motivation piece, and then how to start approaching them without freaking myself out or making myself feel overwhelmed with the Kaizen piece of one small step at a time. And actually that one small step at a time is how I've actually ended up having my sister help me out with some of the most important details of running my channels. I thought it would be too hard to teach her, it would take too long, it's just better to do it myself, but I told myself to take one small step and just teach her one aspect of the job at a time. And here we are 2 weeks later, and she's blowing with flying colors through everything that in my head I told myself it would take her forever to teach her. And in reality, it was just one small step, and in 2 hours I was able to turn around and feel completely confident over her handling some of the most sensitive details of what I do. One small step, guys. One small step, and now I don't have that sitting on my head as a maybe anymore. And so just last thing on how I'm organizing all my mind space and how I'm really doing much better that way. Big picture, creative motivation. Getting through the big picture without getting overwhelmed, because holy moly, looking at a mountain that you're trying to climb sometimes can intimidate the heck out of you. One small step at a time with Kaizen. And finally, how to handle all of the ideas I have. I really struggle because ever since I was little, I've had more ideas than focus to get things done, and I need to change that if I'm going to be delivering on the promises I make to people on our main channel. I don't like promising this series or that series and then it never comes. That hurts really badly on all levels. It hurts them, it hurts me, it hurts the channel. I need to fix that. So I need to be more organized. It's not just a matter of working less. Being more organized actually probably does mean being more realistic with my workload, but it also means being more organized, period. I kind of have to focus on accepting I am not as organized as I wish, and I procrastinate a lot more than I think. Not because I'm lazy, but I procrastinate a lot because I don't know what to do next. The next step is not obvious to me because I have too many steps, too many paths, and I'm overwhelmed. And I just will sit there and kind of wait until I feel prompted to do something because I don't know where to go. And I'm going to change that by reading the Getting Things Done book by Alan, which has been around forever. I just got it on Kindle last night. Dun dun dun. I love Tea Leaf, by the way. Tea Leaf has changed everything for me. But Getting Things Done, David Allen. I think I can about this book. Yeah, I snagged it on the Kindle store on my beautiful Tea Leaf tablet last night, and it has already really helped. If you haven't heard of it, you can find the premise of Getting Things Done all over the place, especially Lifehacker. Lifehacker loves this guy, and I actually heard about the Getting Things Done book on Audible when I accidentally got it as a free Audible book years ago. And his philosophy of if you can do something in 2 minutes, just do it, really helped me back then. But then I forgot about him because I only had the book on Audible, and while I was looking up how to become more organized with multiple creative projects, I realized I didn't need a lot of programs, I didn't need a lot of flow sheets, I didn't need more organizational tools. I needed a better organizational philosophy. So that's what this is going to help me with, and I'll let you guys know maybe in a special one-off vlog how that goes for me. But when it comes to being organized, just another shout out for Tea Leaf. I actually I don't even have words to describe how amazing it has been to be able to work with Tea Leaf and use her to organize things. Right now, anything that I have daily diary entries in the Samsung Notes with my little S Pen. This S Pen Oh my gosh, this was totally worth it. This changed everything because I can just keep all my notes in this. Normally I have dozens of notebooks. You guys have seen them in some of the vlogs that try to contain all of my ideas and that try to keep notes on all the different series. But this way I can keep notes on everything right here. I have like entries for when just my thoughts for the day, where I can thought dump and then go back at the end of the night and write in a different color anything that I want to remember for the next day. That really helps someone like me who has so many ideas that I get overwhelmed by them, and I know I need to nurture some of them, and I feel consciously anxious because it's like, what am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? This has helped so much. Just at the end of the day, go back through with a different color and I can write over whatever I wrote that day to say, okay, you need to make this something, a goal to get done, or think about this and put it. Like, I can actually copy sections of my notes with the little copy tools and paste them into a reflections folder so that if I have some time to think about new projects I might want to think about working on, I can open up that folder. I don't have to go back through my notes and scan them all over again. It's been amazing. It has been amazing as an organizational tool. And then also you can sort your notes into different collections. So what I've done is I have a section in Tea Leaf in my Samsung Notes where I have the series notes, and I can pull up all of my different series, and this is how I'm keeping out of my head so I don't feel overwhelmed, and on paper stored safely somewhere else, the details of the different series we run. So like I'm getting ready to record Niche the Ukier Tribe, I can open up Niche Ukier Tribe, and then there's notes on what I just did. Like when I finish recording something, I immediately turn and write down whatever project I was currently working on, so I don't have to load it like maybe days or even a week later when it's time to record it again and I don't remember what I was doing. Now it's going to be right here. I can also write down suggestions from viewers. I can write down names viewers suggest. I did that with my Virtual Families 2. Like Virtual Families 2 notes is a family tree at the top, so I can remember the ancestry without having to pull it up in the game. And then down towards the middle, a bunch of names people suggest, and I can cross them out in different colors when I use them. And then further on down, a whole bunch of current notes and ideas in different colors, so that some things leap out at me that I can take note of for what to do in that series. I juggle multiple series, and that can be really overwhelming if I don't do it correctly, if I don't have all of those notes somewhere else. I've been trying to keep them all in my head because I didn't take the time to write notes like this or have a really effective organizational place to drop them. And this is already changing everything. And the philosophy of the Getting Things Done book, which I haven't read, I just bought it last night, but I remember from reading it once I remembered it existed, is that you don't use your brain as the storage unit. Your brain is a horrible storage unit, and mine especially seems to be terrible. I do have real memory issues too, so it's kind of like a no-brainer, literally, to have an external brain, an external system to keep all of these things. And that's what the Getting Things Done book is about. He just updated it, I think last year, to be more about philosophy rather than about concrete, do this, do X, Y, and Z, because the world is full of an infinite number of organizational tools out there. And I'm not so interested in that. I'm interested in the philosophy of how to organize. And so far this has really helped. And accepting that if I have a thought, not going, okay, I'm gonna remember that, but putting it in my notes immediately and just moving on with my life is really helping. And that sounds like ridiculous rambles, but guys, my life was being destroyed by not accepting that if I just took the time to work with and train someone who I knew had my best interest at heart with my sister B, and bring her on as a fellow pixebiologist to help behind the scenes, and I just didn't do that, and I didn't have a place to organize my thoughts, and I was juggling too many projects without having an idea of what I needed to do next, because I was relying just on my mind. So not being organized like this is what drove me to that corner. Well, that, and then also having the wrong motivations, answering just the community and not my intrinsic motivation, and not following my values and what I felt I wanted to see on my main channel. These are all things that I'm realizing are going to change forever for me, and I'm really grateful because I think that this is going to be a foundation of a much healthier life. So that's why I share this with you guys, just on the off chance that it could help. Because nothing feels, being overwhelmed with your creative projects in a bad way feels exactly like having a permanent anxiety attack. laced with disappointment of knowing that you love what you do and you can't feel that love because you're so overwhelmed you don't know what to do next. And that is why I share this. Maybe it'll help somebody else, but now I have spent the whole day rambling instead of just like doing something a little more interesting. But next time, Chips and I plan on going to Mianto pretty soon, so you'll have a nice little going out and eating vlog to enjoy. And in the future, once I read through more of the Getting Things Done book, if I have just some bullet points to share with you guys from that, I can do that a lot quicker. But it's like a new chapter. It is like a new chapter in what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And I'm looking at the future and I want to do a lot. I think that's the bottom line too. Why not do less? Because I want to do a lot. And if I want to do that, I've got to have a new way of organizing myself to do it. How boring. That's so me. And what's the most exciting thing you can do with your day, Seri? Organize my notes. That gets things done. Yay. Oh my gosh. That's totally me.